Hello, dear audience. Welcome to Reader's channel. Today we are interested in the question of knowing how Islam is the engine of economic development. Here I would like to start by drawing your attention so that you can lend me attentive ears. Let's go to understand why today's subject is of capital importance. Why is it worth to be much more interested in Islam as an engine of economic development, but not in the same way as the catalyst of economic growth? It is through the answer I give to the previous questions that you will understand the importance of today's subject. Some of the Muslim intellectuals, especially political religious reformists, of course economists included, especially since they are the ones who are best equipped to understand the functioning of economic systems and the drifts in relation to the expected results. They manage to build an economic system in accordance with the Quranic principles, and which consequently encourages competition in the direction of general interests, which presupposes include the economic growth and sustainable development, of course, reducing the gap between the rich and the poor. Yes, as I've already said previously, the Islamic economic system is designed in accordance with Quranic principles, but mainly as a response to the excesses of economic system, for example, capitalism and communism, which, according to the convictions of the architects of the system, have not been able to meet the requirements of inclusive development to guarantee sustained economic growth with view to a stable society. The Islamic economic system is significantly the result of the painstaking work of Muslim thinkers, respectively from the 8th century to the 2nd century, and from the 1940s to the present day. The work before 1940 was much more about awakening consciences, and those after 1940 to the present day concern the development which result in the establishment of an Islamic banking system in the 1970s. The fundamental elements underlying the Islamic financing system are zakah, the tax at the basis of Islamic fiscal policy, and the prohibition of interest, riba, by Sharia law. It is this kind of Islamic financial system that is closely linked or an integral part of the Islamic economic system, which was designed to be used as a lever for development, more essentially of disadvantaged, destitute populations. The financial system plays a preponderant role in the economic by mobilizing savings to finance investment, which is the basis of economic growth, which means that the financial system influences the evolution of a country economic activities. When it comes to talking about Islamic finance in favor of inclusive economic growth, I cannot do without talking about the way credit is granted. Remember, this is interest-free credit as stipulated by Islamic law. Here, I am talking to you about granting credit in two ways, mudaraba and musharaka. Firstly, let me tell you about mudaraba. What is mudaraba in Islam? An Islamic finance technique in which a lender or investor or a borrower or investment manager establish a profit-sharing partnership to undertake a business or investment activity. The bank fully finances the project. The entrepreneur provides his know-how to make the amount invested profitable. When there are profits, they are shared. On the other hand, if there are financial losses, it is the bank which assumes them entirely, while the manager assumes the loss of time. Secondly, let me tell you about musharaka. It is a transaction bringing together a bank and an entrepreneur around a project. These financing methods are similar to venture capital, where the investor finances the post-seed phase of the company, ensuring the function of intermediation and an active financing role via advice and assistance in the decision-making of the financed companies. The Islamic bank is therefore called participatory banking, based on the sharing of profit and losses and setting up a return on investment system to better distribute risks without imputing to the entrepreneur the entirety of the risk taken during the investment. Islamic finance is likely to promote the entrepreneurial vocation. Generally, what is laudable in the Muslim economic system? The financing routes, mudaraba and musharaka, given their modus operandi, they don't leave no room for usurers and lazy people. And here I emphasize their inclusive nature in that they soften the condition of access to financing. The poor increase their chance of accessing financing for their production, which reduces the gap between the rich and the poor. Because there is distribution of income in several hands, consumption increases, which implies the stimulation of production to finally lead to inclusive economic growth, which is the one of essential elements for sustainable development. The Islamic economic system fully plays its role in that it fulfills the three functions of the economic system, which are production, distribution, and investments, Islamic financial assets to finance the economy according to Sharia law are expected to reach $3,700 billion by the end of 2024. Being convinced that God created man destined to be peaceful in order to be able to listen to him, the failure of humanity is to not yet have designed systems that guarantee the stability of human societies. I take this opportunity to salute the initiative of Muslim intellectuals who have the courage to attempt the design of a human economic system which, by its nature, contribute considerably to the achievements of sustainable development. To those who listen to me, I call on them to follow in the footsteps of Muslims by working to think and design systems to relieve the misery of people. Thank you for following me until the end. Please subscribe, share, like, and comment. Bye.